Coming up, new investments creating jobs and generating revenues.
Now, when we speak of our unemployment rate going down significantly, this is what is happening.
Plus, prioritizing housing and spreading love in the festive season. These and more coming out of the office of the Prime Minister last week. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Theodore Henry. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says it is time to target significantly greater tourist arrival figures, insisting that the country is capable of attracting as much as 8 million annually.
Jamaica has the diversity in its products, tourism products, to attract that many visitors.
Prime Minister Holness was speaking at the opening of the Royalton Blue Waters Resort in Trelawney on Wednesday. He also praised the existing efforts to strengthen tourism linkages with other sectors and said this too needed to be amplified, particularly with respect to agriculture.
That's the next frontier of the government, to make sure that more Jamaican products get into the hotels.
The Prime Minister further assured investors that the government was putting programs and policies in place to meet labor demand.
So the planning of the government now, it's not just only about investment facilitation and support. We find ourselves now being directly, instrumentally involved in the labor market, in helping to develop the labor market.
Prime Minister Holness was in St. Catherine on Friday for the opening of the new recycling plant by Recycling Partners of Jamaica in Portmore. Mr. Holness said the government was moving ahead with the drafting of policy to mandate plastic waste separation and recycling on the island.
We will be making a special budget allocation for a public education campaign to support the proper disposal of waste, in particular plastics. And that will be very much a line item in the next budget. But the government will also start to develop the legislation necessary for the enforcement of the separation of waste.
A further step is mandating plastic separation and recycling by all government entities starting in the next fiscal year.
Persons would have to acquire new garbage bins for separation. They will have to identify spaces in their entities and so forth. So that is a definitive action that the government will take as a step towards a national regulatory platform for the separation of waste, particularly for the identification and proper sequestration of plastics.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was the bearer of good news to 4 families who received the keys to their new homes. The families are from Clarendon and Manchester.
The condition that my house was in, I couldn't have made it, sir, if it wasn't for you. So a huge thanks to you, sir, and I really appreciate it.
Even these few days before Christmas, in the rain, in the dark, through steep hills and slippery slopes, we have decided to come and hand over this unit to you.
I wish to thank you for your service and your effort.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness took time last week to recognize staff at the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
I also wanted to use this opportunity to say thank you for your service. I took the opportunity to walk around to all the tables and to meet you all individually.
Another celebratory moment for the Prime Minister was the hosting of the annual Christmas treats for the elderly and children. As we approach the Christmas holiday, here's a word from the Prime Minister.
So as we celebrate, as we party, let us take a few minutes to give God thanks for sparing our lives as we look forward to see the new year and all the hopes that it brings. Merry Christmas and a happy new year. God bless you.
And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.